Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode corporate filings so you don't have to. Today we're diving into a report from Northwest Bank Shares, and let me tell you, after reading it, I'm wondering if they need a compass because their executive pay seems a bit off course, but don't worry, we'll navigate these numbers together. This report is about what happened at Northwest Bank Shares' annual shareholder meeting. It covers everything that was voted on, from electing directors to approving how much the top executives get paid. Let's get into it. First off, the annual meeting took place back in April of 2025. Shareholders got to vote on some important stuff. One of the key things shareholders voted on was who would be on the board of directors. The report shows how many votes each nominee got. For example, Robert Campana received about 83.8 million votes for, and about 2.6 million votes were withheld. It's important to note that there were also about 14.7 million broker non-votes, which means brokers holding shares for clients didn't vote on this proposal. This can happen when broker non-votes, which means brokers holding shares for clients didn't vote on this proposal. This can happen when brokers don't get instructions from their clients. All the nominated directors were elected. Next up, shareholders were asked to approve or ratify the choice of KPMG LP as the company's independent accounting firm for the current year. Turns out that almost everyone, like 99.2 million votes, were in favour. Only about 1.7 million were against it. This is pretty standard stuff. Companies need an outside auditor to check their books, and shareholders usually get a say in who that is. Now for the part everyone's been waiting for, executive pay. The shareholders had an advisory vote on whether they approved of how much the top executives were getting paid. This vote isn't binding, meaning the company doesn't have to listen to it, but it's a good way to gauge shareholder sentiment. Here, about 68 million votes were cast in favour, while a significant 17.7 million were against. Again, there were those broker non-votes totaling about 14.7 million were against. Again, there were those broker non-votes totaling about 14.7 million. So what does this vote on executive pay actually mean? A significant number of shareholders are not happy with the compensation packages. When you see that many votes against executive pay, it's a signal that investors think the executives are getting paid too much. Relative to the company's performance, maybe the company isn't doing so hot but executives are getting large sums, or the company might be doing well but the pay is disproportionate to the success. Either way, it's a red flag. Now let's step back and look at the bigger picture. First, Northwest Bank Shares is a pretty standard regional bank. They're not exactly setting the world on fire with innovation, but they're also not on the brink of collapse. They're just kind of there. One of the biggest risks Northwest Bank Shares faces is the same risk facing every other regional bank: interest rate hikes. When interest rates go up, it becomes more expensive for people and businesses to borrow money, which can slow down the bank's lending business. It also hits them because they pay depositors more. On the flip side, Northwest Bank Shares has some opportunities to grow. They could expand into new markets, offer new products and services, or even acquire other banks. I think they should improve their digital offerings. So what's my overall take on Northwest Bank Shares? They're a decent bank, but they're not without their challenges. The shareholder unhappiness with executive pay is a real concern. It signals that management might not be aligned with the interests of shareholders. I'd keep a close eye on this company because there might be some rough waters ahead. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of corporate filings. Let me know in the comments what company you want me to decode next.